Why are there nearly 1 million abandoned bunkers in Albania? This tiny European nation is arguably the most fortified place in the world. There's more than one bunker for every 3 people, and you can find them in virtually every field, forest, beach, mountain pass, and street corner in the country. So, how did tiny Albania turn into a concrete fortress, and what type of government could have possibly thought that this was a good idea? Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. The story of Albania's bunker mania began shortly after World War II, when under the totalitarian rule of Enver Hoxha, Albania embraced a brand of Marxism that was more in line with North Korea than it was the Soviet Union. But when he wasn't fostering a cult of personality that rivaled even that of Kim Il-sung, Hoxha was alienating his other communist allies. While the Iron Curtain had firmly placed Albania in the Eastern Bloc, by the 1970s, the country had fallen out of favor with both the Soviet Union and Communist China. Hostility became the country's foreign policy, with Albania maintaining a formal state of war with Greece, all while accusing Yugoslavia of plotting an invasion. Cut off from the world, Hoxha's regime fortified its grip over the country by eliminating private property and foreign investment. And here's where the madness of bunkerization comes into play. Because for nearly 20 years, Albania embarked on a concrete crusade, building bunkers from 1967 and 1986 in virtually every corner of the country you could imagine. Beaches, mountains, vineyards, pastures, villages, cities, and towns, no square mile of Albania was left untouched. Not even hotel lawns, churchyards, or city squares were spared. Now, obviously, the consequences of constructing nearly 1 million bunkers in a territory that's barely the size of New Jersey was economically disastrous. Albania's tiny economy, already on the brink thanks to the state's Marxist ideology, completely collapsed. Eventually, the madness of Hoxha's bunkerization program got so out of hand that even the country's military leaders questioned the sanity of it all, including the engineer who designed them. Naturally, they were all purged on bogus charges of being foreign spies. But while Albania continued constructing hundreds of thousands of additional bunkers, they were never used for their intended purpose. There never would be a NATO or Warsaw Pact invasion, and Hoxha's death in 1985 signaled the beginning of the end for Albania's Marxist regime, leaving nearly 1 million concrete bunkers scattered across what was now Europe's poorest country. Yet ironically, the story doesn't end there. Fast forward to the post-communist era, and Albanians have now taken these worthless relics and salvaged them into something useful. While it's without a doubt that Albania's bunkerization program was an economic disaster and the country would have been better off if its Marxist dictatorship had never constructed them in the first place, there's actually a bright side. Many bunkers have now been converted into homes for animals, pizza ovens, mushroom farms, storage facilities, makeshift hotels, tourist landmarks, and even beachside restaurants. Which, if you think about it, is actually pretty encouraging. Because what a crazy dictatorial regime meant for war, the marketplace is now repurposing it for commerce.